elbows. And shoulders. Surrendering any weight you might have been carrying around back into the earth. Shaking off any heaviness. And starting with the neck, our cervical spine. Here I'm kind of stretching just very slowly all the way to side, up, down, and reverse direction. Thoracic. Here. Kind of reaching forward. It's kind of twisting my hands, so hand that comes up, twists up. While the hand that comes down, twists so that the palm faces the earth. Here we're really trying to not only focusing on the full extension through the palms, but using that extension to twist the thoracic vertebrae. And lumbars. Good. Rotations to the left. Reverse direction. Figure eights. And opposite direction. Just kind of noticing if one direction seems easier than another. Knees. So knees together. We're going to rotate to the left. My hands are just upon my patellas, keeping them warm. And as I do this, I'm still paying attention to my low back, using this movement to warm up that region as well. Reverse direction. And separating knees outward rotation. And inward. Ankles. I'm doing my left ankle. And reverse direction. Other ankle. And reverse. Good. And starting with the skin layer. Focusing on the skin, face, fingers, arms, just the skin layer everywhere in the body. Flesh and muscles. And bones. And every cell in the body. About 20 more seconds. And starting to settle. Feet a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Arms as if holding a ball in front of the body. Elbows are out. Shoulders are down. Fingertips reach towards each other. Extending gently. At the same time as the fingers extend just ever so gently towards each other. The feet expand on the earth as well. And breathing naturally. One more time. The chin presses slightly back or slightly down so as to straighten the back of the neck. The crown of the head lifts up as if a string is suspending the top of the head from the sky. Same time as the top of the head is lifting, the tailbone sinks. Shoulders relax. Elbows out. Fingers reach towards each other. And feet expand on the earth. Take a deep breath in. And out. Hands come up, the heels sink down. Hands come down, pressing up through the feet. Last one. Here, double palms press the heavens. So we interlace the fingers. And shoulder, feet are about a little bit. They can be shoulder width apart. They can also be close, right close together. It's up to you. About that. So we're gonna, hands come up and pressing down through the arms, extending through the wrists. And connecting the center of the palms with the center of the chest. Hands come up. Breathing in and out. In, up about 45 degrees. And all the way up. Here we're connecting our palms. Even though we're extending to the palms, we're still aware of the feet on the ground. And even as our palms move up, we're still relaxing and sinking through the tailbone. If the shoulders start to creep up into the ears, gently just relax them into place, even while we're extending through the arms. Breathing naturally. And come down. Breathing in. Out. Coming back up. Breathing in, breathing out. This time we're on the balls of our feet. Coming back down. Now we're gonna go to the left. And trying to feel that line all the way from the right arm down the whole right side of the body. Breathing naturally. And back to center. Coming up, balls the feet. Sinking. And going to the other side. Breathing naturally. And back to center. Coming back down. And coming back up one more time. Breathing in and out. Down to the left side. And here again, always paying attention to the connection between the hands and the feet. And in particular, as we do that, relaxing the tailbone area and just remembering to breathe. Normally, simply by extending through the hands and paying attention to the feet, it makes it a lot easier for the tailbone area to relax. And other side. Feeling that line all the way through the left side, all the way from the left foot to the left arm. Breathing naturally. And when you're ready, back to center. Up. And yeah, slowly unclasp the hands and let them fall. Breathing in. Up. 2 more at your own pace. Do we remember the next movement? Nice. Yeah. So this is a king draws his sword. So again, we take one hand and put it behind the head, and we're pressing our head gently into that hand so as to straighten the neck. The other hand is pressing into our lower back, just around the lumbosacral junction. And we're just using that hand to straighten the back in case that area is bent, and we're sinking. We want a feeling of relaxing and sinking through the tailbone. Which in turn opens up the whole pelvic bowl region. Good. And stretching the neck to the other side. Switching. Breathing in as we relax the tailbone. And out as we stretch the neck. Two more on each side. And again, as you practice or even in class, you're free to just kind of stay in one of those movements as more of a static posture and gently, just gently increase the stretch. And yeah, and just kind of allow your breathing to sink to the lower belly. From here, do the embracing the sun to press the earth. So we, yeah. Oh, maybe you guys can show me this one, if you remember. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, and then it looks like you guys remember it pretty well. I'll guide us through just a couple times, and then we'll do some on our own. So we embracing the sun. This is a big stretching out, kind of an opening up the chest, kind of gathering, scrubbing the sides, liver and spleen, hands on the kidneys. So we open up the chest. Here we come down the backs of the legs. And fingertips face each other, palms on the earth. Maybe about 60% of the way on the hands, 40% on the feet. Just relaxing into the earth. Breathing naturally. Slowly come up the insides of the legs. Breathing in and out. Kind of do 3 more. Here. Breathing in. Gathering the sun. Breathing out to the kidneys. Coming down the back of the legs, breathing in. And breathing out to the earth. Coming up the insides of the legs. In. And out. And one more. In. Gathering up all the sun energy. Scrubbing the sides. And putting the warmth in the kidneys where it should be. Down the back of the legs. Pressing the earth. Up the insides. Down. And we'll do 2 more at your own pace. Feel free to go as quickly or as slowly as feels best to you. Just take a moment to really connect with your breathing. From here, we're going to move into our horse stance. So feet out, heels out, feet out again, and hold on. Feet out, heels out, feet straight. Here we're gonna make our way into our horse stance. Here the knees, as much as possible, have the intention of pointing forward. First, knees stay above the center of the feet, and the outside of the feet are parallel with each other. So there should be, some people sometimes stand more open, which is really good for opening up the hips, but when we bring the feet so that they're parallel with each other, it engages different muscles along the inside and the outside of the legs, and we kind of want this feeling of this, it's almost like the feeling we create is energy spiraling around the legs. And yeah, and here we want to sink just enough so that there's a little bit of strain in the thighs. So this is, we really want to start to warm up, kind of get the thighs warm. It should be a little bit challenging, but not so challenging that you couldn't stand there for at least a few minutes. So here, come up, sink. We reach to the right side, and we're gonna pull our bow and release. Here we're gonna pull the bow and release. Pulling the bow. And release. Here, again, I'm extending through my right hand and pulling back with the left and creating this big opening across the chest. Extending to the left. Coming back together. Now we go to the right. Here I'm extending to the right. I'm mirroring you, extending to the left. So we're on the left side. And I'm pulling with the right and releasing. Here I'm continuing to gaze the direction where I'm shooting. So I'm gazing over my left hand. And back to center. So bring in. And out. Sinking. Starting on the right. Pull and release. Going back to center. Going to the left. Pull and release. Two more on each side. Feel free to go at your own pace. Okay. Next movement. Yeah, I invite you when we do those, whenever you have a chance to go at your own pace, really sink into, yeah, just take the chance to really sink into the movement and try and remember kind of all the different elements of it and put those into play. And you have a question?
Yeah, would you mind, I know you said in the beginning it doesn't really matter when you breathe, but would you mind going through that really quickly and go through the in and out in terms of breathing?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. And, I think, yeah, I think, yeah, for me, like, I like to just do the movement and focus on the dynamics and let my body breathe for me. But I know for other people, it really works to have the rhythm of the breath. So here, we're breathing in as we reach up. And then as we sink, we're breathing out. And here we really sinking, you know, till we get like to a nice place. As we're pulling the bow, we're breathing in. And should be like full, deep, full breaths. And then when you're full, then you release and breathe out. And on the, again, you repeat. So it's breathing in, breathing out. You're pulling the bow, you're breathing in. And out. In.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think you'll find a theme as you practice more. You'll notice that oftentimes when you're going up, you're breathing in. When you're sinking down, you're breathing out. When you're coming in, you're breathing in. When you're expressing outwards, you're breathing out. And that's not, yeah, I think that's kind of just what the body naturally wants to do. In a lot of the time anyways. Okay, so the next movement, we're going to still kind of be in this wider horse stance. This is called cat gazes at the moon. And our hands are turned in so that the palms are resting just above the knee. And the thumb is almost on the IT band, or maybe it's on the IT band, but there's kind of a little nook in between the tendon and the muscle, and that's kind of where we want to shoot our hand to be, or our thumb to be. And here we're puffing out our lower back and breathing in. And then as we breathe out, we sink our tailbone and we look up like a cat gazing at the moon, or a frog, I'm not sure. And then we return. So here we're breathing in as we kind of puff out the low back. And then as we sink and arch the back, we're breathing out. Here we're puffing out the back. And then as we're sinking and looking up, and here, and again, I would say don't get caught on the breath just yet, just because it's, yeah, focus more on the movement and let your body breathe for you. So here, puffing out the back, and as I'm stretching up or arching the back, I'm arching through the whole spine, even while I'm kind of sinking my tailbone and arching up through the whole spine. So there's a puffing out where my tailbone lifts, and then I'm sinking and arching. Here we're gonna puff out, and I'm going to look up over my right shoulder, and I'm pressing my left hand into my left knee. And I'm still sinking through my tailbone. So I'm connecting my my upper spine with my lower spine. And coming back to center, puffing out the low back, and sinking, and doing it the reverse direction. So now pressing my right hand into my right knee. I'm sinking through the tailbone and looking up over my left shoulder. Wait, I think I said that. It's very hard to mirror in this move. Today I'm having trouble with my directions. We'll just say that. So here we come back to center. Looking straight up. Sinking the tailbone. Puffing up, breathing in, and looking to the right. Here again, my left hand's pressing into my left knee. My tailbone is sinking and I'm twisting the whole spine. Breathing in and out. Coming back to center. Puffing up. And sinking the tailbone and twisting to the other side. Breathing naturally. And back to center.
Timothy, when you twist to the right and left, you're puffing up the back, right? And you're leaving it like that while you twist, right?
No.
Or are you're curving it back to neutral?
Yeah. So when I'm puffing, the puffing up the back is only when I'm in this center position. But the second that I'm either looking up forward or I'm looking up to the left or right, in that position, I'm sinking my tailbone, but my back actually is arching. So we're going from this kind of, curled up kind of cat to now the cat is, or tiger, whatever animal you want to be.
How about panther?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for clarification.
The panther gazes at the moon. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but important thing is we're kind of connecting the whole spine. And I know when my teachers first taught me this, they did not emphasize that aspect enough, and I think that's probably the most important part of the most important part of the movement is that sinking of the tailbone so that you can really connect the top and the bottom. I'm gonna close the windows. Cool. So here, kind of expanding through the kidneys, and then looking up from the center. And one more time on the left side. We're sinking. And switching sides. And back to center. And I definitely, yeah, with that movement, you can kind of, I think it's really rich. And actually with any of these movements, you can just stay in a static posture on one side and then just kind of let your body continue to loosen and open up. And that can just be a really nice, really relaxing way to do the movements. And I actually think it's good to do that for the first couple movements. Just kind of go really slow, let it open up, and then if you want to be more dynamic, you can speed up the movement from there. Okay. Well, next movement, it's King rides his horse with fiery eyes. It's a big name, but we're basically making fists. And thumbs are kind of like this. So they're not like here or not poking out. It's underneath the fist, like this. That way, if you punch someone, you're not going to jab your thumb. Anyways, yeah, it's, yeah. And we're going to step out into our horse stance. And sinking low enough that there's a challenge to the thighs. Again, ideally, I just say this, well, my teachers used to say, ideally you can put teacups on your thighs, but most of us aren't there. We just mostly want a gentle activation, somewhat challenging, but not so challenging that you're not able to sustain it. So just the right amount of challenge. And you know you get the right amount of challenge when your legs start to get a tiny bit tense, and then you have to tell them to relax. And that's where the real work is putting in yourself in a space where tension comes up and then relaxing into it as it kind of comes up. So from here, hands are by the side. And then we're going to take the left hand and we're staring over the knuckles in between, the space in between the second and the third knuckle. And we kind of want to keep our gaze like rooted there. And as I'm extending through that, I'm extending just like in the pull the bow to shoot an arrow. I'm gently extending through this left hand. And even as I'm extending through this left hand, I'm still aware of my tailbone. So there's a connection there. One is extending outwards, one is still sinking into the earth. From here, the fists turn, and still keeping my gaze kind of at that same spot. But here, fists come in and switch. Here, switching. Here, like my fists are, they're crossing at my center line and then turning over at the last second. So, yeah. And my fist is about chest height. So, here. Here, my right hand turns over. My fists cross. And then at the last second, turns over. Here. Great. So we're just gonna add one key, one little fun thing. So the fists are tightly, not tightly, they're lightly squeezing. So they just have like a light kind of relaxed tension in them. And with each repetition, we just want to very, very slightly increase the amount of relaxed tension within the fists. So not so much that we cut off the flow of energy, but just gently increasing the tension. So here we're breathing in as we switch the fists and breathing out as the fists kind of stay in place. Switching. Breathing in as we switch. And breathing out to settle. More. Distracted. So here we're going to just gently, remember to gently increase the tension. Here again, we're extending through the fist while relaxing through the tailbone. Sinking a little bit deeper in the horse stance. Squeezing a little bit harder. Breathing in, breathing out. 2 more repetitions on each side. Staring at the same spot. And last one. Slowly uncurl the hands. Step back to center. Place the hands above the kidneys. Just kind of warming that, not above the kidneys, on the kidneys. And then this is King shakes his body. So now we're just gonna rise up onto the, and if this movement is tough, you can just do a micro version of it. But the idea of this movement is we've kind of activated the body, and activated the legs, and now we're just kind of shaking out any tension that may have built up. It's also a really good one for bone density, but I'm just lifting up onto the balls of my foot and then dropping onto my heels. And kind of letting the vibration travel throughout my entire body. And it's less that I'm like pushing myself down, more that I'm rising up and then telling everything to relax. Kind of watching the vibration as it travels through the body. And here, breathing in. And out. 2 more at your own pace. Hands on the abdomen, just watching the breathing. Knees slightly bent. Surrendering any tension to the earth. Hands to the sides. Triggering the right hand. Sinking it deep into the earth. As if it's connected to a pole. Putting the weight on the right side. Stepping out the left. Heel hits the ground first. Shifting the weight from front to back. Right to left. Finding the spot exactly in the center. Check the feet. Outside of the feet, parallel with each other. Knees are above the center of the feet. Having the intention of pointing the same direction as the feet. Breathing is natural. And after the last exhale, breathing in, hands come up. And out, as the hands come down. Sinking the weight and rising at the last second. Here we're going to post the left to the right. Making sure when we post that our knee, hip, and ankle are all in one line. If it seems like there's too much strain on the knee, again, we want to move our weight back, which might feel a little bit challenging, so that we get the knee above the center of the foot, or at least in front of, behind the toes. And we want to give a little bit of energy to the leg that doesn't have the weight. And shift to the other side. And again, and squaring the hips forward, opening up the feet on the ground, spreading energy out through the whole leg. And back to commencing. Here, we're gonna gather from the left, posting on the left, Left hand aligned with the chest. Come over to the left side. My hips stay squared forward, whereas my upper body turns. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to commencing, and we just kind of go through like we have before. So here, up, going back, as the body pulls forward. Gather left. Gather from the right. Mixing it in the center. Here, taking the right hand, we're scooping, posting on the left, wiping the window, so left foot turns in, holding the ball. Here, my weight is on my left foot, my left hand is on top, ball's in front of my center, stepping out the right, warding off, rolling back, pressing, separating, here, going to the left, to the right, my right hand is on top, my right hand forms a crane's beak, all the fingers touch, scooping, and single whip. Here I'm scooping, embracing the tiger, and returning to mountain. Watching you breathing. And here, the left foot is going to come in, so we're shifting the weight to the right. Left foot comes in, feet are together, and hands fall. Just do one closing breath, breathing in. And out. Hands on the lower abdomen. Storing any energy we've cultivated today. ceiling. And a commitment to reflect, let go of what's not needed, and keep the treasures from today's session. And slowly unlock the hands. Okay. Well, any observations, questions?
I think today I was doing great up until the very end. I got totally lost. I started confusing myself with the direction, and so I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that to practice.
Yeah, I mean, probably I'm probably getting a bit too ambitious as a teacher too, and did too many things in the one session.
It's just hard to be able to gauge from the computer where you are in space, sort of. So like if you take a step back, for me it looks like you're just taking a step to the side sometimes, so I get a little lost trying to see from the computer. That's not really your fault. It's just kind of difficult to do this online.
Yeah, well, probably I think at least in an online format, probably with the Tai Chi right now, I've just been giving a preview, but I think once feel pretty confident with the the Qigong set, that'll go a bit quicker and we can have a bit more of a flow with that. And then I'll have more time to really take each piece of the Tai Chi and really explain it so that it's, not just a bunch of, and more just like very concise and clear and, step by step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but today felt really good. Last week I was really, just everything felt really hard. So I think maybe I have a little more sleep under my belt. So today felt much better.
That does make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I maybe was a little bit more scattered today, but.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't seem scattered to me.
No.
Good. How about you, Amy?
I just get lost in the crane beak one.
Yeah.
That's the only one I feel really lost on, and the rest of them I felt like I was working a little harder because my legs started getting shaky and stuff. So I just feel like I'm engaged a little more than I have been. Yeah.
Shaky legs. Good. It's good. That's like.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, energy's moving, and that's normal, and it's giving, again, just another, if it's challenging, that's like another chance to relax into the tension that comes up.
Yeah, I like it, so.
Did you guys figure out what your schedules were going to be?
Yeah, so I think Fridays still are good. Maybe a little earlier, because we have a shift at 12, I think. So
yeah, so we just have to be showered and fed before we go to clinic at noon.
All right.
But other days are fine too. Like Thursdays are fine. But if you like the Friday morning thing, that would still be good. But yeah, maybe just a little bit earlier.
Okay, like does like 9 or I don't know what's a good time.
It's an hour, right? That's like 9 to 10.
Yeah, I mean, I try and make the physical portion, yeah, like hour and a half. I mean, it's been an hour and a half the last few times, but we spent some time just catching up.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah, if we started at 9, I think we could probably make it. And then if I don't know who else will be joining, but we have Thursdays off. So, and I think Mondays
Yeah, and weekends.
and weekends. So, so yeah, if we do Friday, I think if we just started like at 9 and then done by 10:30, that might be. I mean, yeah, that's an hour and a half, 9 to 10:30. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds pretty good.
All right. Well, how about we can shoot for that. I'm assuming you start right into clinic next week.
Yeah.
All right, well, probably we can do that. I am thinking of starting a in-person class on weekends, probably just meet at the park, maybe Saturday mornings or something. So uh,
Yeah.
depending on whether you guys want more practice or something, or more, training, or just an option to, do that outside, I'd probably have more information on that too, and there might be different folks that show up to that too. So,
Cool.
and then, yeah, and then probably as far as just pacing goes, I think we'll start to focus a little bit more on the Tai Chi, but I think I just kind of go one piece at a time, and I think I think most important is just the principles in the movements, and learning them and how to do them in a way that really feels good and activates the whole body. So
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Just a quick heads up on your if you do decide to do something outdoors, we actually have a standing date for Saturday mornings. We're gone from 8 to 10.
Oh.
So that could potentially be changed. I'm not sure. There's another person involved. But right now we have a standing gym date for rock climbing Saturday mornings at 8.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe
Sunday morning?
I don't know how you guys would feel about like doing the rock climbing and then going to like Tai Chi afterwards.
Might not be too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's like this intense, kind of potential lactic acid buildup.
Right, yeah, the arms always get pumped, so this part would be pretty nice for that. And
Oh yeah.
we can always try it and see how it goes.
Yeah, and if it's too much, maybe we can work with it. Well, possibly I'll just maybe start. If that's the case, I might either, depending on who else can do it, I might either start at just at 10 and you can come late if that ends up working. I mean, we can try it out, or I can start a little bit later. Obviously, I think, I want it to work for everyone. So obviously, if I'm doing a Saturday class and you guys have that, and then you try it once and you're like, oh, that's just way too much exercise for one morning, then, we can have a chat. Yeah. And
Cool.
Okay.
I don't know what else will be on my radar, but at the very least, I'm thinking I will keep the Zoom class and then have an in-person class. As well.
Okay, so should we plan on next Friday morning at 9?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Okay, great.
And then usually have a Chinese lesson that finishes like just around that time.
Oh, okay.
I might be like a couple minutes just later, but we'll see. I might try and consolidate as well. So.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Timothy.
Yeah, thank you.
Best of luck. Happy studying. You guys got it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful sun.
Yeah, have a good weekend too.
yeah, you guys too. Take care.
Thanks.
Right.
Bye.